That's not on the list.
Sorry,
But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
No worries. I'll bring it up.
To the Left, Right
Sorry.
podcast. It's me, your hosts here, Kenyo and Eric. And this is the political podcast where a couple average Joes take knockout stances on the top political subjects and just chatting about the top stuff in politics to see if maybe our uneducated approach can shed some light on some of these difficult issues. Shed some. I need sunglasses. You're beating me on the sunglasses game.
No, what you really need one of these.
Woo! The gold medal is here.
Hold on, be right back.
Wow. If you guys don't know, Eric just he was just in a Brazilian jiu-jitsu competition and he took gold. Whoa, he's a gold medalist. Never ever test his medal if you don't want to
What up, guys?
With the treble glyph.
When the treble kick.
Ooh, with the treble kick.
Yo, I'm back. Back in action. Left, right podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know about politics, but we in here talking our opinions. Hate on it.
All right, let's get started right at it because we will drop a fun one here. Starting off, you have the list with you right there. Government shutdown, right?
No, I don't.
The U.S. government remains in a shutdown. Now, it's in its second week. Okay.
What?
It's in its second week with no end in sight. The core of the impasse is the debate over the future Affordable Care Act subsidies, which are set to expire. Democrats are refusing to pass a new spending bill unless the subsidies are extended, citing the citing the potential for millions of Americans to face dramatic premium increases. Republicans, on the other hand, are demanding a clean bill, that's what they call it, clean bill to reopen. I only did the quotes because it said it's literally in quotes on my paper here. Bill to reopen the government first, and are calling for deeper reforms to the healthcare system. The stalemate has led to furloughs for federal workers and disruptions to government services. All right, let's knock this one down first. Just giving our honest thoughts on it. I actually talked about this a little bit last week. I did a little mini left, right podcast, and I just said, okay, there's a lot of details here that I don't have the access to, but I have the access, but I didn't look for it. But I'll say this: I think probably the subsidies are good for people. At the same time, I do think that people voted this time around for a lot of Republicans to be in office. So technically they probably want, that's how our republic works. We elect people. We don't vote on every individual issue. We elect people who represent us. And this is what people did. They elected them. And so I assume this is what a majority of the people in America want. Though, there's polls going on, but polls don't have anything to do with politics. You could say whatever you want. We voted for people who are representing.
We sure do.
Right? And they're representing, and they say that, hey, this is what the people who voted for us said that they want, and this is what we're gonna do. What do I think the Democrats' thing is? Like we said on 2 podcasts ago, it's negotiation. So, yeah, I think it's maybe not good, but it's what people want. So you have to do it and see how it plays out. That's the best I can think of it. What do you think?
I actually have a couple questions on this, and you may not be able to answer it. Maybe somebody in the comments or live can answer it, or
ask
we can
GPT.
AI it or whatever. But really, this is one of those things that I'm a little bit too ignorant to even have an opinion on. But this is the way my brain is breaking it down, because I'll just be real with you guys. I get health insurance through my job, and it's a great program of health insurance. I get dental, eye care, and along with a lot of other things like psychiatrists, therapists, and just going to get checkups, everything, bro. Like, I've got it made. And I'll admit, I'm not going to sit here and be like, um, take it for granted. I'll admit that I haven't made in that sense, but at the same
Yeah,
time,
I mean,
I
you worked
worked
for
really
it.
hard to
Yeah.
get where I am, and now I have a job that offers this, right? And my last job,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't offer health insurance for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And right before I left, they started getting health insurance, and it was pretty good. But I just remember before then, I had tried to sign up for the Affordable Care Act when Obama was in presidency.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, and I was making like $40,000 a year. Like I was barely making it by.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't qualify,
Yeah.
and because I made too much money. So that's where I want to wonder, what subsidies are we talking about
Mm-hmm.
that is making this to where we're not getting this done? Because
Mm-hmm.
if I didn't even qualify for it back then, and now we're trying to take this down, ratchet it down,
Yeah.
as right as I can be in some situations, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, well, are people that can't afford it not going to be able to have health insurance at all now? I need to know like what the specifics are on these changes,
Yeah. I mean,
because if I
definitely.
couldn't even qualify, what's going on now?
Yeah. I mean, definitely there's going to be some people who are not going to be able to afford. I mean, there's still people who right now can't afford health insurance. And, America's trying to figure out how they deal with that. I mean, kind of the thing with America is like, yeah, if you can't pay for it, you can't have it. And so what do you do? But then, you can still go to emergency rooms. So it's like emergency rooms have to treat just about anybody who comes in. So it's like if you now, but then when it comes to certain services, like okay, are we gonna do your
Well, if
are you
someone
gonna,
has cancer, like
yeah,
let's take it there.
yeah,
If you got cancer and you can't afford it,
mm-hmm.
what happens? You know what I mean?
I
Because that's where I start to think, well, your health should not be something that you have to pay for. Now, if I'm
yeah,
going to do some type of cosmetic surgery
yeah,
on myself, or I'm trying to go do something that's not gonna be mandatory to keep me alive so I can see my kids and grandkids,
yeah,
that's different. But if I come down with cancer and I can't afford health care, that's where I'm trying to actually understand, where does that come into play? You know what I
yeah,
mean? When somebody who doesn't have the money, not ex-military, their job doesn't take care of them, I'm
yeah.
concerned. I'm actually very concerned for these people. Now, I'm not
I
saying
am too.
that
Yeah.
the Affordable Care Act is the right way, at least the way that it currently is or was with Obama when he brought it into play. But I believe that these people that can't afford health insurance should at least have options, So it's tough for me to really give an opinion. This is probably one of the most ignorant statements
Yeah.
I've made because
I
I really don't know.
I think we'll have to. I mean, yeah, I think that's how a lot of people are feeling, and that's what's so tough about some of this stuff is that it's like a lot we don't really know, but I think that's why I just like talking about it. At least might help a little bit because it gives us some things to maybe look up. I think we'll have to double back on this. Maybe next week I'll try to see a little bit more details. Have AI break it down a little bit so we can chomp it up. Because I don't know all the details. I know there's people right now who they can't get certain medicines. It's so nuanced. There's so many different ways it can go down. And then there's people who they get the treatment, but now they have like a bill for $3 million or something like that. So it's like them. Sometimes I think they have to do the treatment anyway, but they bill you, and then it's just like a crazy bill, and then so you just have this debt, that. So it's super crazy. It's super crazy, and then it's tied into a lot of stuff because it's like, okay, what happens? I don't even know, man. Like I think of like the people who are getting paid. Are we gonna have less nurses? It's complicated. That's why I can't give too like myself. I can't give too much of a specific thing. I'm just like, yo,
Yeah. And you know what, man? It kind of makes me feel guilty. I'm going to be honest with you. The fact that I can't answer that question, even though we come on here and we say, hey, I'm not necessarily educated on this. We're talking from somebody's point of view that it affects us. But I'm just going to be honest with you. This doesn't affect me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's hard for me to have an opinion on it. And that's telling me that maybe I'm looking at things a little bit wrong in the daily life, where I'm only looking at things that affect myself.
Yeah.
And while that's very important, if you want to be the change in this world that you want everyone else to be, we both need to be educated on this.
Yeah.
At least how it affects people. Maybe not the legislature. Look, we're not into the politics, but this is a social thing. This is less political than it is social.
Yeah.
And I mean, if we're looking at the federal poverty level, for a household size of 100% poverty is $12,000 a year.
For one person, okay.
For 100% poverty level of a family of 4, household size of 4, it's 25,000.
Oh yeah, that's
so
crazy low. How are you even getting by if you're doing 25K? Where are you even getting only 25K?
You're not.
Okay.
You can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and I'm looking at this now, and based on the federal poverty level, which varies by household, the 2025 FPL
25K?
is 15,000 for an individual and 31,000 for a family of 4. That's the average.
That's crazy. Oh, that's the average. 31,000 for a family of 4 is average?
That's the average for the federal poverty level.
Oh, poverty level.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because it goes to 100%, 138%, 150%, 200%, 300%, 400%.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't necessarily understand that. But what I'm getting at is, isn't there a bigger problem here? If you're making less than 30 grand a year, there's a lot more that you can't, I mean, as a household, there's a lot more that you can't afford other than health insurance.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's why so many of the benefits focus on housing, like they got Section 8, right? And so I guess if you had Section 8, you were also on food stamps, and if you had the Affordable Care Act, I guess that could knock out like, $1,800 a month that you have.
Dang, man, I hate to say this because it goes against my common belief, but you know what? I think that if you're struggling to get a job, you're not a felon, you're not doing bad things, you're grinding, you should be able to live, eat, and have health insurance.
Yeah.
Basic health insurance. So I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to double back on this, Kenyo, as far as my opinion goes, because it's kind of opening up my mind on the fact that I am even more ignorant than I even thought I was. So.
It's a don't feel too bad though. I mean, it's a big issue, and then there's ways as a community that I think we work on it too. There's like churches, there's charities that we can contribute to. I think as long as you're. Yeah, but I think that's why we're doing this podcast too, because like, what is the regular person's approach to these issues? This is hard stuff. We don't have time. We have things to do. It's not like we're not working. This is somebody else's job. But we can't rely on them only. We do. That's why I think it's important to vote. You pick who you want when you vote. Anytime I vote, I'm making the best decision based off of the resources that I have. But you're right. I think. That's why I like this podcast, because it gets us a little bit deeper. I don't have a lot of time during the week, and I know you don't either. But at least for this, 1 hour or something like that, it gives me a chance to look at. And in the morning, that's why I start my morning off with news these days, because I'm just like, you know what? It's the least I can do to see what's going on. So, like, before I really get into too many other things, as far as like my entertainment podcasts and stuff like that I put on in the background, I try to play some news so I can be like, okay, I'm as a man in a community, I want to try to care at least. I should at least be keeping my eyes open.
Agreed. But yep. And I'm clearly not doing that right now, on a lot of problems. So, I kind of want to apologize in a way to some people who are affected by it, because the fact that it seems that, and I know me and you aren't the only ones who struggle with this, but it seems that when you don't have time and you're just going through your daily life, you only pay attention to the things that affect you.
Yeah, yeah.
So you get asked a question like this, and it's like really eye-opening. It's like, wait, I got to make less than $12,000 a year to get 100% health insurance? Like, well, I'm not living then, and I'm probably not even caring enough to go to the doctor if that's what I'm doing, So We should try to find a
It's
health
tough.
insurance expert to come join someday and talk about this.
That would be really
Honestly,
cool. That would be really cool. We could do a
anybody
whole.
out there, if you're an expert in health insurance, can prove your credentials, and you're not just an average Joe like these guys here
Yeah,
talking, uh, talk to
and you're
us.
not
Reach out to
biased
Kenyo.
because I think some
Yeah,
that's a problem we're having too. A lot of experts are like choosing sides, so it's hard to really tell when someone says you something. So it's like we have to try to get the research
hey, we can
ourselves,
find one from each side.
and we can question them. I guess
Bring
if we're asking questions, yeah, we could do one from each side. That'd be cool. We should
either
do
way
a.
or question.
All
Yep,
right, it's on the list. We're gonna do a healthcare. I'm gonna set it up. We're gonna do a health insurance episode
do
so
it.
we can deep dive.
We should.
Let's get on to number 2
I want to
here.
be educated on this. All right, go
It's
ahead.
important. You're right. It's literally the most important thing for life.
Well, the government's shutting down because of it, right?
Yeah.
So there has to be something that we all need to know this.
Yeah.
It's not something that just, oh, it's not affecting me. Let's push it to the side. Now, you see my stocks this morning or yesterday? All right, we need to figure this out. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
No, it was crazy. At first, I thought I had made a mistake because I got into I bought some new stuff, and I was like,
Oh,
"Dang."
yeah,
And
the
then
stock market crashed because of you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I thought I had just picked a really bad stock.
I know.
I didn't see the whole crash, and I had bought like a bunch of shares in this one company, and then it was tanking. I was like, I didn't care actually because I planned to hold this one for a long time. That's why I bought it. But and then I was like, oh no, the entire stock market crashed. Okay, so I didn't do anything.
Oh, yeah. But it's also because Trump talking about China tariffs, not really
Yeah.
the healthcare or the government shutdown. But go ahead.
Yeah. Trade war. What we're getting into right now? Trade war escalation with China. The trade war with China has intensified this week. I didn't even know it was heating up. It says in response to what he called extraordinarily aggressive trade practices and new export controls on critical minerals from China, President Trump announced an additional 100% tariff on all Chinese goods. This action has caused a slump in financial markets and further strained the relationship between the two nations. It's I don't know if you want to go first on this one.
Sure.
Okay.
It's not just the two nations, bro. China is tightening its export controls on rare earth metals as well as like high tech. So, and this is not just for United States. They're applying this to the entire world.
Yeah.
And I believe they released a map of some kind. I was looking for it, but look. Yeah, I lost a lot of money yesterday because of this, and sure, I don't like the fact that public relations with other countries are south or whatever it may be. But I'll say this: Trump is the only dude in the world that has the balls to stand up to China and do this. There's no other person in the world that's going to do this, and we have to stick up for ourselves. If China's trying to become like, what happens when a company tries to monopolize an industry?
Yeah.
It's against the law, right? You can't.
Yeah.
There can't be a monopoly in an industry. That's why like a lot of things get vetoed when companies try to buy another one that there's only one other competitor in. It's the same thing it should be in the world, bro. If you're trying to say I'm the only one that's going to be controlling these exports and this tech, somebody needs to fight back, bro.
Yeah.
And I get it. Maybe 100% tariffs or adding even more tariffs and threatening to cancel a meeting with one of the biggest world leaders in the world might not be the best way to negotiate that. But what did they say when Trump put all the tariffs on everybody else around the world? They said, oh, this isn't smart. We're going to ruin our economy, all this stuff. Well, 2 weeks goes by, 4 weeks goes by, 2 months goes by. All these deals are getting ironed out and completed. Personally, I think China sees the leverage that we're grabbing in the world economy, which we've always had leverage, but Trump's flipping the script a little bit more on them. And I think this is just a power move by China to get their common ground, our common ground at a more level, stable foundation for this next trade negotiation, if that makes sense. I think their plan is to be able to backtrack a little bit once they can get more leverage on us. And that makes sense. That's what you do in negotiations, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If you're selling something for $400, I might lowball you at 300, right? And it might piss you off a little bit. You're like, man, this guy, I'm selling this for 400. He's giving me 300. And then you come back and you're like, but I really want to sell this. Nah, 380. I'm like, look, man, I really want this. I'm sorry. Let's do 350. And you're like, you know what? Just if you come pick it up, I'll give it to you for 350, right? Easy negotiation. So that's what I think. It may not be right, but I think it is a very intelligent long-term move by President Trump.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I think the tactic is correct. I think that's the kind of thing, and which is I think what people like about Trump. It's he does stuff in the way that if you're a leader of an organization, right, and you need to make a move. The thing is, China, because of the way it's organized, they can make these kinds of really aggressive moves, right? But the U.S., it's gonna look weird, the way that we think about stuff in American society. We're more nuanced with our like masculine leadership and stuff like that. Which there's pros and cons to that. But yeah, like no matter what, there's a bunch of stuff that he can't explain. So when he makes a big move to say, I'm gonna push back, I'm gonna go toe to toe with these guys, it's gonna look crazy, right? But again, this is just negotiation. It's just negotiation. Now, the only thing that I'll say, when just thinking about it, that is, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the tactic is correct, which is why I think he's been able to do well in his life, because he has the right tactics. If you don't have the right tactics, you lose, and I think that he ends up more or less winning more oftentimes in his life because he takes the right tactic. But I think sometimes he's a little bit missing on the details, but we'll see how it plays out. Because
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
A lot of the time he will, and look, I support Trump. I'll say it loud and clear. I support God. I'll never denounce God. And I'll tell you, I voted for Trump. And I'm not comparing Trump to God. What I'm saying is there's certain things that you just got to stick to your guns at. Okay. Yeah. And I will say I support Trump, and everything that he's done is not correct. And yes, he gets some facts wrong, or maybe, and just like every other politician, you want to always put the facts into your leverage, right? I'm going to only say the facts that are going to help me, and I'm not going to necessarily, I'm going to withhold a little information. It may not be lying. If you ask me, I'll dodge the question, though. That's the politician for
exactly.
you.
That's why I don't even judge the politicians too much, because I'm just like, the thing is, both sides are doing it. And so even when I look for, because there's actually not even two sides. I think that there's actually, it's just easier, because I was thinking about this last night. I think it's just easier for human beings on certain things. There really isn't a third option. You kind of have to be polar. It's just, because it's like, okay, what am I going to do? You could say like, oh, I'm independent, right? Because but I don't know. Anyway, so I think that we consolidate things into two sides just because it's. But anyway, with Trump, yeah, again, right tactics. Only thing I haven't seen from him, and this is just like, but this is with all people, even myself. I realize I'm a flawed human being. And so human beings always have flaws. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I think the only way we get past flaws as human beings is with an intense dedication to collaboration. That's why we have so many group stuff. Nobody did cars by themselves. Nobody did computers by themselves. Nobody did any of the cool stuff by themselves. It was always a group of people. You even look at like scientists. There's no real scientists who by themselves invented anything. I mean, it's always embedded in a much larger thing. Even like, people talk about Martin Luther King, like, okay, great. No, I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on. He was the front man, maybe, for a certain aspect of certain things. Not trying to have everyone attack me on anything. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying a freaking word.
All I'm saying in general, I think is human beings love to boost up other human beings. but it's not accurate ever, because all human beings are deeply, 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 deeply flawed individuals, which is why you never really want any one human too much in
Controlling
control.
one thing or
Yeah.
making, yep.
And so that's where I think, because I'm almost going to look at, I don't know. But anyway, so I think that's where we have a little bit of risk, from my opinion, on Trump's actions. But I don't know. I don't really see it as being a long-term detriment. I just think that I think he's doing what he thinks is the smartest thing to do, which is to control our leverage. China's trying to control their leverage. They want rare earth metals because we know that, computers and lithium, even though they just found a bunch of lithium in the U.S. somewhere, but and so they're trying to make sure that they can shore up their economy. I haven't looked at their stock market, but I assume their stock market is struggling more than ours, because that's what Trump really, really did, is he made us have more leverage financially in a lot of situations.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting, though. I think the strain on trade. Anyway, yeah. So I think it's the right tactic.
I'm not a financial expert either.
Yeah.
But what happened last time when the tariffs hit? Stock market dropped. Everyone panicked. Oh, my 401k. Bro, you're 31 years old and you're complaining about your 401k. You ain't touching that for another 15 plus years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 20 years.
Only people that really sucked was the ones who wanted to, that's when they were about to take it out. The day before they said, what, I'm going to go ahead and take mine out. And then they're like, wait a second. You know what? But the thing is, there's also financial stuff for that. You just take out a loan for like a month and then, but anyway. Mm-hmm. It's changing times. Look, I think it's good.
Correct tactics, mm-hmm. But the way he words things, it gives room for people to get upset at him or say, hey, you're doing this wrong. Yeah. And I think he can clean up his diction, clean up his verbiage a little bit more to make people see the facts that he's actually going after, instead of giving people room and leverage to say, look, he's just a jerk. You know what I mean? That's all the attacks that Trump has had, right? Mm-hmm. Is he's a jerk. He doesn't care, right? And if he just cleans up his act a little bit and still takes the same tactics but words them a little differently, I have a feeling that he would be looked at a lot better from the left side or people that didn't necessarily support him, because he's trying to make us all money. That's what I'm trying to understand, is like, if he's trying to give all Americans leverage, not just Republicans, then why are we hating on him when he's fighting for us right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the problem, I think, with extreme polarization, because it's just like, it just kind of gets you stuck in a mindset where it's just like, that's, okay, whatever. I'm not playing that game all day. I'm moving past whatever that is, and I need to take action based off of what's going on today. So let's keep it going. National Guard deployments. Federal judges have issued temporary restraining orders to block President Trump's attempts to deploy National Guard troops to Oregon and Illinois. The governors of these states, as well as California's governor, have objected to the deployments, arguing that the president is overstepping his authority and infringing on state sovereignty. The issue has prompted some governors to threaten to leave the National Governors Association. National Governors Association. I'll go first on this one. I've seen, of course, a little bit of it, as you know, I keep checking in on it, and I understand why people wouldn't want National Guard in their city. In general, if I just had to say what I think about it, I would say I'm wondering if it's just really hard to do things properly, and that's why we have to do things like this. Because I'm just like, what I would think you could do, I actually wonder this all the time with police. I'm just like, is it that hard to police things? Anytime I see a crime somewhere, I'm just like, it must be more difficult than I'm imagining things. Because I'm just like, if I see like a video, like especially those looting videos that we see all the time, I'm just like, if I was a police officer, I feel like that's where I would be posted up and I would be able to get them, but they're not able to get them. So what I would like to see is police do better, but maybe there is some sort of crazy issue. I know, like, especially in California, they were talking about, there was 2 days of rioting in California. On that situation, I think you need the National Guard. Honestly, if you're having riots that are going for multiple days, Yeah, so I think they just need to fight this one out. I really don't have too much of an opinion on it because I think sometimes it's necessary, sometimes it's not. We can't have a blanket. So I think in a lot of with Oregon, maybe it's not. I don't know. Illinois, I don't know what's going on there, to be honest.
It's all over anti-ICE protests, bro. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is okay.
No, I don't know. It doesn't say in here. I think Portland, I know, is anti-ICE. I think Illinois is more of they just had they have a lot of crime.
See, I went to CNN. Mm-hmm. I went to CNN so I can get the other side of where I usually disagree with.
CNN
first.
is
I'm telling you,
just garbage.
See, look, guys, you need to listen here. Look, this is this is what I'm saying, but that's very far left, right? CNN's very far left. So I'm gonna get their
even too far left. There's way more left stuff. No, I mean I understand from the right perspective.
Where's the disconnect button?
I understand that from the right perspective, CNN, but to me, I see CNN as just bland. I think that they don't. I think the major news stations don't actually talk about anything. Even Fox, I think, if you go to Fox, half of their articles are about like Taylor Swift. If you go to foxnews.com, because I go to both websites, most of their articles are more entertainment centered because they're entertainment. CNN, they report to me on like only the most obvious stuff. And then sometimes they'll lean like a little bit left. But if you go to the Real Left podcast, they're talking about whole other stuff, And the same thing with the Right podcast. Well, if you go to like Matt Walsh and, Tim Pool, they're talking about stuff that Fox News doesn't even want to mention,
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Yeah, but, we're talking like drastic changes. But I totally get what you're saying. Yeah. But what I was trying to get at before you just destroyed everything I was going to say. No, I'm just kidding. I went to CNN to see what they're saying because it's usually a media corporation that I don't agree with, right? Yeah. So they're saying it's because of anti-ICE protests. Demonstrations outside of ICE facilities in Portland and the Chicago suburb of Broadview have been occurring regularly. A federal judge says ICE must remove an 8-foot-high metal security fence near the Broadview facility before midnight next Tuesday. Mm-hmm. So, and educate me if there's another reason we're deploying National Guard, I want to know.
No, I think it's just this.
Yeah. So I just want to know, for people that are not supportive of the National Guard being sent out to that location or those specific locations, have they not seen how violent the protests are getting? These are not peaceful protests a lot of the time. Now, I'm not saying that all of these protests aren't, but most of these protests I'm seeing rocks thrown. I'm seeing actually the first time these anti-ICE protests were started, there were people on the side of the road throwing huge rocks at the windshields of cars that are just coming by. Okay, you don't know this person's political standing. You don't know what they stand for. They're probably just going to daycare to drop their kid off so they can get to work in the morning. And you're throwing a practical boulder at their vehicle, putting everyone in danger.
Yeah. You gotta shut it down.
And if the police aren't going to do anything about it, if the police aren't going to do anything about it because they're being controlled by people that are funding these protests. So think about it. If the government's funding, this is what I believe, right? I don't have there's not much proof yet out there, but I believe that these protests are being funded by the governments that are in power in these states and cities. And that's why they're saying, hey, no, we're not going to send the police over there. Just turn the other way. No, we don't need National Guard. Everything's peaceful. Didn't you see these protests? There's peaceful. But then the video that was the Chicago mayor or whatever. And then you go and you look at the video that was just released like the day of when she's like, no, we don't need anybody. These are all peaceful. Don't you see them? And then there's guys throwing rocks at cars, right? It's like, okay, well...
Yeah.
What are you seeing? Because I'm seeing something different. So I'll finish this up with saying, if people are being attacked for trying to get rid of illegal immigrants that are breaking laws, trafficking children and drugs into our nation, and you're protecting these people and the police aren't going to do anything about it, send the National Guard out there, protect our police, protect our people that follow the laws, and get these illegal immigrants out of our country. I love Mexican people. I love Central American people. I love Southern American people. I got a Nicaraguan girl that I'm talking to that she's really sweet and I like her, right? And she's only been in the United States for 3 years, but
Nicaragua.
she's doing it legally. She's
Mm-hmm.
doing it legally, and she's a teacher at a school, okay? And she's trying to teach people that have special needs. So if you're doing that, and if the ICE in San Antonio, because they're saying they're sending ICE to San Antonio, if they grab that woman and they take her back to Nicaragua, I'm gonna have a big problem with it. But if they grab a felon or somebody that would be a felon that's trafficking drugs and humans, why are you protecting these people? That's what I want to ask somebody that's far left that's saying Trump is a madman. ICE shouldn't be here. Why are they deporting people? Well, what about these guys? They've broken so many laws. They're trafficking people. You want these people here? That's my question to them. So, yes,
Yeah.
I think National Guard deployed to cities that aren't protecting the ICE workers who are trying to deport people that are illegally here breaking laws. That's perfect. Do it. Get them out.
Yeah, I think some people worry that I don't even. Again, now you're making me feel bad that I don't know a lot of the details. I think because I always look at both sides because I mean I don't really agree with anybody. I feel like I'm on my own in life, but
you are, trust me.
Yeah, I mean that's the only perspective. Anyway, except for anyway.
Hey, I'm sorry. Just say your opinion, and I'll be back in like 20 seconds. I promise.
Okay,
I'm gonna get my
very cool.
energy drink.
Yeah, I'll just say I guess it's probably for people who are to some degree thinking that ICE isn't getting the right people all the time. And I don't know what I was going to say is I don't know the percentages of the number, because the thing is I love police. I love police. I love the concept of police. I think it's great.
Me too.
I think I love to see them around. I don't even like when people say like weird, shady stuff. Like you shouldn't be afraid of the police because you need them around. You need them around. I think it's
if you're doing something bad, you should be.
Yeah, I think it's a really great system. I love when justice works out perfectly, no matter who's doing. If it is a police officer who does something wrong, I think we have good systems for that too. Report them. I love the body cam stuff because now you can see what people are doing. If someone messes up and they're getting too crazy, whoever's wrong, let's just do things right. And then I think, some people also. They like to be around bad people, and then they're curious when things happen and they get caught up in bad situations. I even look at that with like, if you want me to have sympathy for like someone be like, oh, I was, like some of the high profile cases of the day, be like, oh, this guy like stole money from me, do this stuff. Yeah, but you were also there when he stole money from other people. You got your check, and now you're wondering why. So I think human beings need to be more mindful of the way that they move in life in general, but also yes. With the National Guard,
that's a great point right there. You should expand on that actually.
Yeah,
because people might not catch what you mean there.
Okay, I just mean that especially with these high profile cases, and the way I'll bring it back to the National Guard stuff too. But I just mean with some of these cases where people are like, oh, I just mean that in general you have to watch how you're moving in life. If you're around where bad things are happening, or you put up with people who have less than stellar moral character in your life. I don't even really know that many shady people, because you're not going to enjoy hanging out with me.
Me neither.
Because we're not going to, I don't enjoy talking about shady activities. I don't enjoy watching shady media. I mean, I guess, I don't know. It depends. I like some violent stuff, but like as far as like, but I mean like, like a rapper who's like doing a bunch of ghetto activities. Sometimes it depends on who the rapper is. If there's talent, musical talent, I like musical talent. But in general, I'm not consuming.
Take art out of it, bro. Take art out of it. I'm like 50 Cent. He's talking about a lot of shit.
See,
but I love 50 Cent. You know what I mean?
If you relate, if there's something that you can get out of his art because of that's your positioning, but that's cool. But I'm still gonna have to say what I think about the person, because they had an opportunity with their pen and they wrote certain things. And if you write stupid stuff,
yep,
I have to say, my friend, you gotta cut it out. Yeah, it's gonna affect your life in some type of way. It's not gonna affect my life because I'm not gonna agree with you. I'm not gonna say, I think it's a good idea to let's run them down. No, but sometimes maybe if it's Kanye, I might in my past. But as I get older, I can't even really listen to too much Kanye because I'm just like, this dude was crazy. Like he was always kind of obsessed with sex on like a weird level. To be honest, his musical talent when it came to his beats more than anything, because it's not like lyrically he was kind of fascinating, more just in his provocativeness. But his beats were out of this world for sure, especially the way that I experienced.
They still are.
Yeah. They really still are. But you have to look at all this stuff. But anyway, with the National Guard, I would just say I would love for them to look at everything in detailed ways. As long as they're going out there, I have no problem. Even with ICE, I have no problem with anybody taking any criminals and removing them from the situation, because we're not anyway. But
exactly.
Anytime somebody messes up, you get someone who's not a criminal, or you accidentally hit somebody who didn't need to be hit, or wasn't protesting, or was just driving by, you got to pay for that too. So as long as there's equal transparency, 100% off the board, across the board, I don't mind. We are trying to fix problems, so let's fix. But it's not. I don't know how much this National Guard thing is costing. Do we need the National Guard, or can we just find a way to make police better? Because things do cost money.
Well, the problem, Kenyo, is that the people. This is back to what I was saying. Is the people that are in the government positions here in these cities, they are the ones stopping the police from doing something.
Yeah, because they do agree. That's what I'm saying. So we might need to do a separation there, because like in the federal government we have a separation. Well, no, I guess the mayor would be technically over that's like the executive branch of the city. So yeah.
So you know what? This brings me another point. You know what? It's kind of changing my mind in a certain sense, because I care about the people that are getting falsely deported. If that's true, I haven't seen much proof of instances of where people are getting falsely deported.
Yeah, I haven't seen a bunch,
but I have seen some.
Yeah, I've seen a couple.
I've seen those. I've seen some. I'm not going to say they're not real. Okay, but I also care about the people in these states that don't agree. Let's just say the Republicans, and they're getting screwed over because they're like, yeah, bring the National Guard, bring law and order to our cities and our states, and then the government's like, nah, we're good. We don't need you. So that goes back to, you need to get out and vote. You need to get out and lobby. You need to make your voice heard, and you got to stop being the silent majority, because the silent majority is going to lose. Yeah. And so what I'm getting at is, if you're not fighting to get the people that you want in office that are going to support you, I hate to say it, while I do support sending the National Guard, if the government's not going to want that, if the government's not going to police the things that they need to police, and you don't agree with it, get out of Chicago. Get out of Illinois as a whole. Get out of Oregon. Go to Texas. Go to Florida. Go somewhere where people that agree with you are.
I think, that's good advice.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, all right, if the government ain't going to protect me, I got to go. I got to go do something. And it's different from saying, oh, Trump's president, I'm going to go to Europe. Okay. You freaking senile.
Well, no, I mean, honestly, if that's how you feel, I think that's fine too. Like, I think that's what people need to do. Take action. If you think that something is not the way you like it, because what I don't like is a bunch of yappa-doodle-doo. Okay, if you have something you want to do about it, then go ahead and get it done.
Do it.
Because the U.S. is not the easiest place to live. I agree. Like, honestly, if you want to relax a little bit more, you're not feeling healthy, and you don't want to feel like you want to hustle all the time, Canada is a pretty good option, to be honest. I think for some people, like, depending on where you are in your life, I think the U.S. is a detail-oriented hustle camp. So it's not really. There's a lot of things we don't have. UK has free, college and healthcare. Canada has free healthcare. Yeah, it's not the best, but yeah. And then another thing about the National Guard, I think people don't remember. The South didn't want the National Guard to come in and desegregate schools, but so there is a precedent for the National Guard being used when the states are being stubborn. So that's why I'm like, the details matter.
That's the whole reason it's there, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I was getting at in the beginning, is like, that's the whole reason the National Guard's there, is to bring law and order when the people that are controlling the state and the cities aren't doing it correctly.
Exactly. So
you know what I mean?
Like, fight it
but
out
at the
in
same
courts.
time, exactly. But the courts take time, right? Yeah. So what's the immediate fix? It's getting my family to a place
exactly
where I agree with the people running.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
All right, let's
plain
keep
and
going.
simple.
We're probably not going to get to all of these today, but we did
We
three.
never
So
do.
it's
Who
pretty,
cares?
we never do. Yeah. Next one, AstraZeneca drug price deal. Probably don't have much
What's
to say
that?
about this. In a rare instance of a deal being struck between the Trump administration and a major corporation,
AstraZeneca.
pharmaceutical company AstraZeneca has agreed to offer discounted drug
Oh,
prices
yes, I
to
watched
U.S.
this.
patients. Well, this is just a good thing. The deal will also
Yes.
see the company join the administration's Trump RX website. I've heard about that. He basically has
Yep.
like a discount, which is great. Trump RX website. This follows a similar agreement with another drug company and is framed as a way to lower health costs for America. This is the kind of these are really honestly the only kind of articles I want to be reading. I want to be reading articles about blazing the way, the new amazing stuff. I understand we have to talk about everything.
Yeah.
But that's what excites
Yep.
me about a president is doing things on that level that like nobody else could do. You know, like
He's making deals with a UK company
I don't know
to
if
bring.
we need to call it Trump
Huh?
RX, but we did call it Obamacare, so I guess it's fair.
Well, there you go. You know,
Yeah.
I was gonna say the same thing, but you just proved that point to be wrong too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, call it what you want.
Yeah, it doesn't
Call
matter.
it-
It doesn't matter.
America RX. I don't care.
Yeah.
But the thing
that would've
is, he got a UK company to say, you know what? We're gonna give y'all up to 80% discounts on inhalers for people with asthma.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that is a good way to fight. And you know, obviously he's doing this strategically. Do you wonder why this deal came into play while the government shut down over the Affordable Care Act?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then he's making these deals with pharmaceutical companies to bring things down, to get leverage on this. That's why Trump, he's like,
It's smart.
in his mind, I believe, okay, leave the government shutdown. I'm going to start making all these deals and making the prescriptions cheaper, making health cheaper, period, to where, oh, health insurance?
Yeah.
I'm not even needing it. I just bought my inhaler for $20 or $10 when it was $100 before. So
Yeah.
now the health insurance here I don't really need for the basic stuff anymore, right? If you can bring the cost of basic health care down, then you don't really need health insurance for those basic needs. You know what I'm saying? Like going and seeing a doctor for a checkup or getting your inhaler or getting your prescription renewed, right?
Mhm.
If you can make that affordable, then it's okay. You don't really need these special instances or special programs for people that can't afford it because they can.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And that's a great move. Also, you know, I'm also starting a healthcare company called Gray Table, but we can talk about that later. But yeah, no, I think it's
Really?
yeah, some other day. Just thought I'd plug myself. You know, I need to drop more plugs. But anyway, no, I think it is great. I think it's wonderful. I think it's great. Trump RX, good job. That's actually the kind of stuff that I kind of miss in the Trump presidency, because I think he gets so controversial that we don't get.
Yep.
We need to. I like the good stuff that a president can do. It's not even about like a person or anything like that. I think the office is really great. So it's like certain things can come out that are going to be changed. That's the point of having a president. You know, it's like, okay, let's get 4 more years of, you know, new great stuff. You know, but I think human beings, you know, we're being so polarized right now that that's people's favorite form of entertainment. Honestly, right now, I think is polarization.
Oh, it's
I think
so
it's just
entertaining.
like football for people.
It's so entertaining.
Yeah.
It's more than football.
Yeah.
It's more than football because there's no real winner or loser in this stuff. It's back and forth. It's teeter tottering.
Yeah.
It's like a seesaw. You know, I'm winning. No, and then you get sitting here at a stalemate, government shutdown. It's like, oh, who's gonna seesaw?
Yeah.
But think about this, bro. And I'm just reading while we're talking and stuff, NPR, because I didn't remember the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
AstraZeneca, they're going to invest an additional $500 million in a new manufacturing facility in Virginia, raising the investment to $4.5 billion.
Woo.
So that's part of a $50 billion investment announced in July, which I wasn't even aware of. So this is just more coming in that they already agreed to expand manufacturing facilities in California, Indiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Texas, and Virginia for research development efforts
Boosting
and other
jobs.
things. So
good jobs too.
What exactly? And you know what my point that I'm going to bring up is, if we hate Trump so bad on the left side, are we losing the fact that Democratic Party is more about progressive movements and change?
Yeah. Everyone's got to love
Don't
that
you
one.
want this change? But the same thing for these tariffs. Can't you see that there's a progressive movement inside of the idea of the tariffs being put in place, or trying to restructure the trade deals that are screwing over America and have been for decades? Isn't there a progressive point of view to be found in that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, again, that's why I think a lot of it is just polarizing nonsense. That's why I think I really do.
I know. I'm going off of that.
Oh, no, I'm
I was
looking
agreeing.
at you.
Yeah,
Sorry. I have you over here and over here, so sometimes I look at you over here. Sometimes I look at you.
No. I said, yeah, I was going off what you were saying about the polarization. That was the reason that brought up that point in my head.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that, well, let's not get so far apart. Why don't we realize that this is actually a pretty progressive move?
Yeah.
So why are we even fighting about it?
Yeah, no, I think they're usually fighting about something else. All right, and then people just want to fight. I think honestly, people when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, because I think people are supposed to be very creative human beings, and they're supposed to be making art. They're supposed to be diving into their friendships, praying for their friends, making music, doing all kinds of things, and then people get disconnected from that. Then they get disenfranchised.
Starting businesses.
They're starting businesses, and then when you get disconnected from that, and then the world's made you feel so bad that you can't even do those things. I can't even go making music. Then you start to judge other people, be like, oh, this person shouldn't be doing this, and you start to externalize all of your power instead of focusing on, hey, what should you be doing to have a slightly better day, to work on yourself a little bit better, to put out that project you've been thinking about for years. That will, and then people just become super negative and stuff. But let's keep it running.
You're hitting hold on. You're hitting a perfect point, bro, because you're hitting the reason that we started this podcast.
Yeah, for real.
That's what it is that there's so much polarization and so much difference, but we're all pretty much the same, dude. We all wake up and we see these things. You pull up your phone in the morning on a Saturday and you see all this stuff going on, right? It's like, man, this is depressing. Like, I don't even want to get up and do my shit anymore, do my thing. I don't want to go out in the nature and hike anymore. Man, I was feeling great, but now I'm seeing all this sad stuff. I'm seeing all these people losing their families or deportation. And look, like, I'm all for getting rid of people that are illegally here, right? But the thing is, it's like, it doesn't change the fact that I can empathize with people that are losing family members, because they might have grown up as kids here and only seen this, only known this. And then now their parents are getting taken out after being here for a decade or two. It's like, wait, hold up. My life's totally changing. It's getting flipped upside down.
Yeah.
So I have so much empathy for those people, man.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is we have to draw these lines and we have to come together and say, look, this is wrong. Let's figure out a way to fix it and move forward.
Yeah.
And that's what this podcast is about.
Yeah.
We're two, according to the comments, two idiots that don't know anything, right?
Yeah. Somebody else said
we're here talking about the middle class.
Someone else said in the chat, what in the Mortal Kombat cheat code is this podcast?
It's left, right, down, up, circle, square, X, R2, L1,
okay,
brother.
That's what he
Come
was
on
saying.
now.
Left, right. Okay. Yeah, exactly. That's funny. All right, so
that was good.
Yeah.
Welcome in, Wiegand Keegan.
Exactly. We're just having fun, and we're pushing past it. And we are, we're showing people how to move through this stuff. All right, Supreme Court's new term.
All right, next.
The Supreme Court has begun its new term and has a number of significant cases on its docket. While not all are bipartisan issues, some of the cases being heard this week include challenges to the to election laws and the legality of mail-in ballots. The court's decision could have far-reaching impact on future elections.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Mail-in ballots, huh?
Yeah. I don't have too much to say about this. I'm always confused about how we haven't figured. I guess because someone could hack it, but I'm like, can't we just vote on an app? We have to go somewhere. I think if we had app voting, but I guess we would need.
Yeah,
But this
it's
is
tough with VPNs and all this stuff
but
nowadays,
you can't.
and the
The
fact that
American government can't make a secure app. You don't think?
um, have you seen the underground
You know
dungeon
more
that we
about this
have
than
that
me.
has all? Have you seen the underground dungeon that the government has still that has all of the damn documentation?
Mm,
Dude, let's be real. The government is not technological. As
that's
much as
true.
we want to believe it,
That's
they don't
true.
know shit about tech.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's why
true.
they're hiring all these big tech companies to do things. That's why
Yeah,
we're having to make deals with OpenAI because we don't have that sector locked down, bro. We're not China. Let's be real. China's government
yeah.
does have that locked down
I
because they
wish.
control that entire sector.
Yeah,
We don't. We have so much
that's
freedom here.
true.
It's like, oh, a genius did something. Let's get him. Let's get a contract with the government.
Yeah,
Oh, Tesla's doing something big. Get him in contact with the government.
yeah,
Contract.
yeah.
Pfizer's doing big. Same thing. But I'm not going to keep going on with that. But mail-in ballots. I just want to know. Look, I'm cool with that as long as you can figure out how to make it to where it's not cheating. And I just want to know
Mm,
what poor soul is going to be going through each one of those ballots. Because pay that person 150 grand a year if they get that right. Pay them 200. No, pay
yeah.
them $1 million. If you're counting the friggin' mail-in ballots and it's correct,
I
I'm
don't
all
even.
for it.
Yeah,
But the problem is there's too much corruption. There's too much corruption. People are going to find a way to cheat no matter what. But find a way that works and just
yeah.
roll with it, man.
I think mail-in ballots are kind of crazy. I don't know if there's a bunch of fraud going on in them, but it just doesn't really seem to me like it makes any sense. I think, except I think we should just build polling locations. It would be easier to have a secure polling location wherever that person is. If you're out of the country, I don't know what to say about that. I think, but if you're like in the military outside of the country, there should be a polling location. They shouldn't have to mail their stuff in. Like on the base, you could just have a polling location. But yeah, if you're in like Japan or something like that, and you've been living there for 2 years, I'm sorry. I think
I
you
mean,
just don't get to vote, bro. That's just my opinion. I know
I
that
hate to
sounds
say it,
super
but I
crazy.
I
might be
agree
wrong.
with it.
I might be
No,
wrong.
it's not.
Oh,
I
go
don't
ahead.
think it's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think it's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
if you're not going to be living here to feel the effects, then why
Yeah.
are you even voting?
Yeah. I don't know if we need to.
You shouldn't even care that much.
And then how do we know you voted? Like you could it could have been
Yeah.
some Japanese dude who's at your apartment who just like sent it in. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me. Like I don't think it's the biggest. We don't need how many votes are we getting mail in? We can just not do those ones. I think. But anyway, there's other things the Supreme Court's up to. Supreme Court's really interesting even as a concept. I hope that they continue to do a good job. One thing I really trust judges more or less. I know they can be partisan too, but what I like about judges is they are detail oriented people. It's like it's not easy to be a judge no matter who you are, what side you're on. So more
Oh, I'll judge people very easily.
exactly, but to actually become because you have to be a lawyer first, I assume. I don't know the exact path to being a judge, but even lawyers, I kind of respect them because it's almost like doctor. It's very hard to do, very detail oriented. They're studying precedent. They're studying, decades and decades and decades of people's writings about stuff. And the cool thing is they explain themselves. They write papers. Whenever they make a decision, they write a paper, and you can go look at what they wrote, and that can help you decide, what you think about it. And it's very that's why I think people don't really have a bunch of issues with judges. There's not like a judge that everyone's like, oh, that judge is. I mean, except for with the Supreme Court, they might say, oh, he's right or left, but they still don't go too that crazy on judges because it's like, well. It's like kind of like arguing with the doctor. It's like, yeah, you could not agree with him, but I mean, yeah, it doesn't mean he's right because he's a doctor. Because there's doctors who are wrong too. But instead of not agreeing with him, you might need to go find another doctor to help you figure out what's going on because you're not gonna figure it out. So okay. Anyway, next one: Middle East ceasefire. Oh, that was a big one. A ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached between Israel and Hamas. While Israeli troops are withdrawing from certain areas, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed that Hamas will disarm. The deal, which has been widely praised, marks a significant development in the ongoing conflict and is being viewed as a major foreign policy triumph for the Trump administration. Go ahead. I'll let you
That's a
start
big
on this.
deal, bro.
Yeah, big deal.
My main concern is how long is this one going to last? These guys have been fighting for as long as we've known. If you go back in history, I don't really necessarily think that there is, man, I feel really pessimistic for saying this, but I don't necessarily believe that there is a long-term solution for peace in the Middle East.
There isn't.
So while this is a big win, and you know what, like I think, hey, power to Trump and respect to Trump, the world, like, let's realize, okay, we may not all respect Trump in America, and the whole world does not respect Trump, but there are a lot of people around the world that do.
Yeah, he is the
and
president.
The fact that he's the president of the United States of America, and the fact that he has so much leverage around the world shows how much they respect him, whether they like him or not.
Oh yeah, you got to.
And man, Netanyahu, I can't really say that I like the guy. I think he's fake. I really do. I think there's something about that guy that is just evil, and it's not from what I've seen or read. It's just something about him. Look, I'm an ignorant man.
I don't know anything about
something about him. It flicks this switch in my head. You ever looked at somebody and heard him speak, and you're like, and everybody's like, yeah, we're saying it about you right now, dumbass. But no, it's like you see this person speak, and they're like, and you're like, seems kind of fake to me. Seems like a facade to me. Seems like he's just talking out of his ass, and really he doesn't believe what he's saying.
Yeah.
But going back to that, it's a huge win. I respect Trump for doing what he says he's going to do. That's the biggest thing I respect Trump for, is that he didn't give up on this. He said he was going to work on this peace deal. Now they're actually getting close. They are exchanging hostages now, many hostages. And people around both those nations are celebrating right now. It kind of seems like the first real peace deal or ceasefire that we've seen. The other one didn't really seem like there was an effect. It's like, there's a ceasefire, and then rockets are going off at the same time. It's like, hold on. That's not a ceasefire, right? Yeah. Or like, as soon as the ceasefire ended, it's like, it ends at 12 p.m., 11:59. They're like lighting the fuse to the bomb. You know what I mean? Like, come on. But I'll say this one feels a lot more real than the previous. And all I can say is W Trump on this one, and W Hamas and W Israel for actually trying. And hopefully they continue to hold the people's lives that they're putting at stake. Hopefully they continue to hold those at a higher stake, a higher level, and can keep this going, because really war around the world, we don't need it. Let's figure it out another way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I just agree. I agree with that. I don't really. I agree with that. I don't know anything about Netanyahu. Ceasefire, yeah, like you said. I think it's cool that they did it, and everyone. It was really bad this time around. I think with the that's why everyone was trying to, be Palestine, like all that kind of stuff, because they were seeing all the videos, and for some reason Palestine was just great on TikTok and Shorts. They had the videos coming out. I was like, oh dang. So anyway, I'm glad that people can chill off that, and I hope people can find something they can get back to something in
work.
their lives. Yeah. Next thing we got going on.
Business.
Controversy over political rhetoric. The killing. Oh man, I don't know. Okay, the killing of conservative activists last month has heightened concerns about political violence. Okay, this week a Democratic political candidate. Yeah. Jay Jones,
bro.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me. Candidate. Jay Jones has been criticized for texts he sent in 2012 that discussed harming Republican politicians. While top Democrats have condemned the text, they have not called for Jones to drop out of the race, leading to accusations from Republicans that they are not holding their own accountable for inflammatory language. Yeah, I didn't know anything about that. He should probably drop out.
Look, You don't need to drop out. You're not going to get votes.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, look, if the American people want to vote for that, then we're just going down the wrong path. You know, like
that's why I think for him, as a decision, he should just drop out. Because I'm just like, the thing is, I think we need to raise the bar again. We can't have. I don't like foolishness. If you were even at a McDonald's, right, and you were like, oh, someone had said like, oh, I was texting about beating somebody up. You're out of here, bro. We just don't do that in general.
Yeah.
You can go ahead.
Yeah. If I was saying I'm gonna beat your ass, you're not gonna be my friend.
Yeah.
Right. And you're gonna be like, man, that guy's kind of a jerk.
Yeah. Very simple stuff. I wanted to do these next two, and then I think that'll probably be it. But indictment of New York AG Letitia James. New York Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted by federal, and then Comey also was indicted, but I guess this is specific. New York Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted by a federal grand jury on charges of bank fraud and making false statements. This is the second instance in recent weeks of a Trump opponent facing federal prosecution, and the story has ignited a debate about politicization of the legal system. And this one, I guess, you want to go first?
I mean, who's talking about politicization of the legal system? Who's the one arguing about this? I hope it's not the left side who tried to get Trump arrested multiple times for things that he has not been indicted for. I hope it's not them trying to say we shouldn't be doing that, because that would be pretty hypocritical.
Yeah, I think this is one of those things that each side doesn't like it when it's happening to them, but they both do it, and they both probably should cut it out. Because it's just it's not a good look, though. I mean, Trump, but that's the issue, I think, when someone's already a billionaire, because billionaires commit crimes. Okay, that's just the nature of being a billionaire. I don't know how to say it. That's what it is. You don't have to follow all the rules, and then you have people who you hire to show you which rules that most people follow. Sometimes
you can break.
Even me, like I don't. Okay, well, never mind. Don't look at me for anything. But I'm just saying, in general, just like a regular person on the road says, sometimes I can speed. I know the speed limit is 75. I can get away with an 82. I can push it to 82. I'm not going to go 83. That's crazy. But I can push an 82. Now, when you're a billionaire, that 82 is a bunch of stuff. So I think he had just a bunch of stuff that, was like look intoable. And, of course, they went crazy on him. I think both sides need to cut it out.
This isn't just look intoable. Intoable. This is, you got caught with bank fraud, lady.
Yeah.
Like, you got caught, red-handed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how are we going to sit here and say, this is just politicizing?
Because, I mean, it was pretty small. They're saying that she earned in total. I mean, I'm not saying that anyone should get away with it. I'm just saying that the only reason we're looking at it, it was $600 a year for 30 years. And so they're saying that added up to $18,000. But that's over a 30-year period. And yeah, so it's like, okay. Really? Yeah, they're saying that because she just switched the classification of her loan a little bit. It's like one of those little things that you would do, So
she found a loophole.
Yeah, like one of those weird little loopholes. And so it's illegal. So I don't even know what the penalty for that is, but
is that a felony?
18 maybe, because I don't know what the limit is for a felony. If it's 10K, then maybe. I don't know if she's already had the house for 30 years. I don't know when this happened, but
that's all. Yeah, that's all she.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. 600. That's what I saw anyway. It was $632 over, $600 something over. But anyway, it's definitely there. People are being a little bit political with it, but at the same time, I don't know. But that's just like one of those. It's just,
I see.
Yeah. So it's one of those.
Yeah, that's
things.
wrong. That's wrong. Yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna switch my view. I didn't know it was that petty. Look, I'm not gonna say you shouldn't. This is where I made it full. This is my jurisdiction. This is my decision here. I hate to say it, but yes, politicizing the law, I think, is okay, because political or politicians need to be held accountable as well.
Yeah.
Now, what it comes down to is that let's not politicize pettiness.
Yeah.
You really
Or
think that
um
those $600? Well, this is what I'm saying. This is complete pettiness. Like,
yeah.
there's so many other people out there that aren't in the political field that are finding way bigger loopholes, breaking way bigger laws, and not getting necessarily called out for it or caught. I know for a fact because
Oh
they do
yeah.
get caught eventually a lot of the time. But
Yeah.
if you're really talking $600 a year for 30 years, I mean, bro, give her a slap on the wrist, give
Yeah.
her some community service, and move on. I don't necessarily think that's a reason to be losing your position. I know it's wrong. She broke the law, but clearly, you are just looking for some reason to defame this person
Yeah.
in their political work, and you're ruining their career for $30,000. I
Yeah.
mean, if I'm only making $30,000 a year, that's one thing. But I
Yeah.
know she's making hundreds of thousands of dollars
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's probably just like
come
something that
on,
she did. She probably wasn't even like looking at that. I don't think she was like, "Oh, let me get this extra
exactly.
600 a year." I don't. I doubt she even. It was probably her real estate agent or something like that who was just like filing
Yep.
it a certain type of way. But
Yep.
yeah,
But hold on, let's not take the responsibility off of the person that's actually committing the crime, right?
yeah. No, for
Like
sure.
that.
That's what I'm
You're
saying. It's like,
right,
that's what I think.
but you need to
Just have her
know.
pay it back. Because with something like that, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, if you file something,
Write a
okay.
check.
And that's if it even comes out that she's responsible for it, because they're saying that what she did is say that she was going to live there, but then she ended up renting it out, and they're saying that she never planned to live there. But I'm like, how do you really know? Like, I mean, it's kind of like, because yeah, if you're going to live there, you get like a slightly lower rate. I doubt anyone was even thinking about that. Like,
Write a check, raise the rate, call it a day.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. You can add that to $600 over the course of a year. You can add.
I mean, come
How
on.
much do you have to add? $50 to the rent. All right.
Or
Could,
make her sell the house and pay back what she got from it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's other ways besides of trying to ruin somebody's career over $30,000.
And she's
That's all.
probably not even.
That's
I don't even think it's gonna. I mean, I don't know, but because I don't know the details, we'll find out with everybody else. But she's probably not even gonna. I mean, maybe she is. Maybe she is. Let me not say anything because I don't know. All right, next one: Qatari Air Force facility in Idaho. A deal to build a
yeah.
Qatari Air Force facility on U.S. base in Idaho has caused uproar this week. The Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, was forced to issue a clarification after public backlash, with some, including influential podcaster Steve Bannon, voicing strong opposition to a foreign power having a military base on U.S. soil. I don't know if this is political or anything like that, but it just sounds bad. But I don't know. But
So the interesting thing here that's left out is that Air Force base is still going to be under U.S. jurisdiction,
yeah. Yeah, and
controlled
this
by
it
us.
was started under Biden as well. In 2022 is when this all got kicked off.
And it's actually it's to train. We're going to help train their pilots to
Yeah,
be like the top pilots in the world.
I don't.
And hey, if they use that skill against us, that's one thing. But
Yeah,
come on, we're just trying to strengthen people around the world.
yeah.
Um,
I don't think it's deadly. I don't like it. If I have, but the thing is, the U.S. does this in a lot of different ways. I worked at this dental office as a dental assistant when I first got to San Antonio, so it's like 2014, 15 or something like that. But they would get a lot of. So there's this program that like for the Air Force. I don't know. I think it's Syria or Pakistan, some Arab country. But in San Antonio, they have this program where they bring in these Air Force people from like the Middle East and stuff like that, and they train them over here. And their kids, I don't remember if it was. Okay, I think that was a separate program. But anyway, they would get these vouchers from their government to get dental care done. So it was like interesting for me at the time because it was like a whole different type of dental insurance because you have to go talk to the military base. So they've been doing that for a while, training forces over here. I don't know the details of why we do that as a military, but I guess it is something that we do, and I think this is another version of that. Probably, of course, as far as I know, those countries, I believe, are footing the bill and probably even paying extra for this. It's like almost like a consulting type service type thing. So it's something that I think is very normal and that all countries do. Only thing is, if I had my preference, though, and this is probably wrong, because I don't know anything about this, but I just wish they would do it in their country. Like, but maybe that's even worse for us to go do it.
Well, this is
country.
Why.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you why it's not in their country.
Mm-hmm.
You know the size of Qatar?
Yeah. That's true. They'd have to build.
I don't know the size. That's hypothetical. What I'm saying is that was a joke, but it's a small ass country.
Yeah.
And the reason it's Idaho, it was Idaho, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're doing it Idaho. Sorry. So because they requested to have it as a state that has a similar landmass to their country, as well as the geographic similarities because it's mountainous, just like their country is. Mm-hmm. So really, they didn't have the space or the resources to build this because they're a small country. And they're like, hey, can you give us a spot that's similar size and similar to geographic elements? Mm-hmm. That way we can train and practice there, right? That's why it's here and not there.
And it makes sense from that point of view because it's like, okay, instead of having to build $1 trillion base where you don't even have the resources to do it, you can just, maybe build, pay for half of it. I don't know what the deal is if they're paying for half of it or whatever, but you don't have to pay as much, and then we get to keep it. I mean, so it's like someone else is helping you build something in your country, so it's kind of a good thing, and I'm sure it's going to be relatively good in some degree for Idaho. I don't know how Idahoans are feeling about it, but yeah, I don't know why. If it was me, if I could, I don't know. It makes sense, but I don't like.
I mean, dude, we got other like. I think doesn't Germany still have an Air Force base?
Get them out of
here
too. No, I'm just joking.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if we would do Germany. Well, I thought Germany was like not even allowed to do anything military based because of their transgressions against the world.
Let's see.
I don't remember.
Let's see. The German Air Force maintains a tactical training command at the Shepherd Air Force Base in Texas.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely something we do. I think people are just having fun with
German pilots have trained in the United States since 1958. So this isn't really anything new, bro.
Yeah.
In 2019, a Saudi Air Force second lieutenant training at a U.S. base in Florida killed 3 U.S. service members in a shooting rampage. Well, that's what I start to wonder. Are these Qatari guys, they're going to just one day turn on us and start bombing Idaho? Like, that's the thing. Like, I guess there's regulations already in place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's where it's weird for everybody, right? Because we're like, wait, doesn't that make us susceptible to violence and death? We don't want that. That's the whole reason we have the military. Now we got a Middle East country military here, so that's where people are getting scared, which I understand.
Yeah. Especially, I think with I'm sure with the first time this was announced in 2022, no one even thought about it because that's just, I don't know, we weren't really thinking about it at that time. But I think right now, I don't know, people are more worried about stuff. And it does sound weird. I mean, it doesn't sound like, but again, It is normal. It's not something that's that weird. All right, last one that's on here. I figured there's only one left, so we might as well do it. Federal funding for childhood cancer research. President Trump signed an executive order titled Unlocking Cures for Pediatric Cancer with Artificial Intelligence, which directs federal agencies to accelerate the use of AI in childhood cancer research. That's amazing. The Department of Health and Human Services also announced it will double its funding for Childhood Cancer Data Initiative. Let's do it. A move that received bipartisan support and seen as a positive step. This is the stuff that I love to see, and it's great that
nobody's disagreeing with that. If you disagree with that, you're a POS. Get out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, we're not fighting about this. There's no opinion.
Cut the child. cancer
Yeah,
research.
we all want childs living and
Yeah,
healthy, right? We
yeah,
all want childs. We all want
and
children living and healthy.
and I
So
love the use of AI for it too, because that's going to be
me
good. I
too.
think a company that's investing in AI scientific research, that's really in
It's
the right
incredible.
direction. It's amazing because we could go. I think the
Yes.
stuff we could get done. That's the thing I'm liking. People aren't talking about some of the other stuff that's good going on in the presidency because they're kind of just not paying attention. But one thing that he did, that Trump did, I mean that the government did, I don't know, but they had the
The Trump
EV
administration.
Trump administration. They had the EVTOL um,
Mm-hmm.
thing too. And see, the funny thing about that is I was actually looking. Oh, I think we talked about this like 2 episodes ago.
We did.
So I don't need to bring it up again. But I thought that
It's
was
all
cool.
good. No, who cares?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, because I was looking at, that Archer Aviation Company even before that, and I think that's gonna be
Me
good.
too.
We're
I bought some of their stock.
oh yeah, I was playing with them for a little bit. Now I moved on to something else, but but I'm still looking at them. They're still on my watch list, and I'm gonna get back in because I think that's gonna be a big one over the next. I think. Anyway, I'm not trying to give any recommendations,
Decade.
please, because I'm gonna disagree with myself in a week. But I feel like they're gonna be big for the next 50 years because they're really well positioned, and that could be a really really cool industry. I think over the next. And so anyway, there's good things. There's good things going on too. That's a good one. Cancer research with AI. I love to hear it.
And I mean, guys, that hits home for me. I haven't lost a child or anything, but as you know, Kenyo, I lost my mom to lung cancer when I was 13.
Yeah.
So any type of research and developments in cancer of any kind, especially with AI, because we know that AI is extremely helpful when it comes to increasing the pace in
Yeah.
which you can do this work.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm like, man, if she just could have, if I was just born and my mom was born like 20, 30 years later, like, man, there could be hope for her, right? And I'm not asking for pity. I'm not saying
Yeah,
I'll feel
yeah.
bad, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of people like me and a lot of parents that have lost children to these diseases and cancer and all these different things. Leukemia, obviously a form of cancer. And the fact that we are moving rapidly, expeditiously with this, using AI to keep children and people alive. Man, I want to like give a round of applause to whoever's really devoting their life to this, because that's the true people that deserve credit. Those are the people that are keeping communities in this country, in this world, moving forward and giving us a reason to have a warm heart. Because we were just talking about how you wake up and you see all this negative stuff. It's like, man, I don't want to go outside now, right? And I'm being exaggerative, right? It's a hyperbole. But when you see things like this, it's like, all right, there are things to be happy about. There are people out here doing good in the world, and we need to look at this more. We need to highlight this more. That way we can all live happily together and be like, man, did you see what the Trump administration did for the cancer research? And the guy's like, yeah, I don't agree with everything Trump's doing, but man, I can't argue against that. Like, that's cool. Let's have a beer over it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm all for it. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the funny thing is, I think the real political stuff is such a small aspect of what the government gets up to. All the real big things, nobody's disagreeing with cancer research for kids. No one's disagreeing on all the normal stuff. Like, it's only like these little things that are like around on the edges that honestly we just don't have the experience in. They're new to everybody, and everyone's guessing, and some people guess based on this and some people guess based on that. But all the really obvious stuff, no one's saying get rid of seatbelts. No one's saying we shouldn't be able to sleep at night in beds. Like, all the normal stuff we all agree on. So yeah, it's fun to I think it's fun to politicize, honestly, but I think gotta stay grounded in the best part of politics.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, it really is. It's entertaining. That's why we're doing it. If
And
it wasn't entertaining,
sucks.
we wouldn't be here.
Exactly. I'd be asleep right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not feeling good.
Yeah.
I woke up feeling sick and hopped on this podcast,
Yeah.
and it's because it is entertaining. But
Yeah.
you know what? I'll be honest with you, Kenyo. It's not just because it's entertaining. It's because I feel like people like you and I
Mm-hmm.
are out there, and,
Mm.
and they want something to relate to
Yeah.
because they feel like and I'm talking about the silent majority,
Mm-hmm.
they feel like they're alone and they don't have people that agree with them, and they're out here like, my opinion is not worth it because I'm not educated.
Yeah.
No, we're going to sit here and say, look, I'm not educated on this, but I want to educate myself, and I want to say how it affects me, and how we can move forward and build communities and all together figure out how we can agree to disagree, right? So it's a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more than entertainment as well. It's
Yeah.
about being progressive, but also sticking to your guns.
Yeah.
Look, I don't agree with you, and I'm not going to change my opinion easily. But
Mm-hmm.
if you can put the facts out that make it to where I'm undeniably incorrect,
Mm-hmm.
then somebody that's semi-intelligent is going to have to say, "Well, you know what? You're right. I'm going to have to change my view. I'm going to change my tone on this."
And I think that's kind of, interestingly enough, the point of entertainment. It's like, well, what are you gonna what entertain? What are you gonna entertain? I think it's entertainment is this way of, because I think human beings, we're super duper dynamic, and we're always trying to grow. We're always trying to better ourselves. And so I think the things that entertain us are usually just another type of progress. It's like, let me sit down and sit with some things, what, I don't know, some data, I don't know, not to be super deep with it or anything, but yeah, I think I think that's why it's fun to sit with some of these things that some people might have a little bit more trouble sitting with, and we can make it fun for them too, because it's just like, yo, these are not the issues that are gonna make and break your life. You're gonna be around here for a long time. It's going to flip-flop. It's going to go back and forth, left and right for the rest of America's thing, unless a third party really becomes like a major player. But I think it's just easier for us to organize ideas into two different parties. So I think we're always going to be more of a, I don't know, maybe if
Well,
because
when
the
you
third
think
party
about the way the
comes up
world
sometimes.
works,
Yeah.
it does. But when you wake up, or when you think, like, historically,
Mm-hmm.
there's black and white, there is yes and no, there's right and wrong.
What about
If you're thinking
Asians?
about binary numbers, no, I wasn't talking about races.
Oh my bad.
I'm talking about, like, it's a metaphor.
My bad.
If you think about binary, and no, I'm not talking about
Okay. Your code, binary code.
yes, I'm not talking
Okay.
about men and women here.
Yeah.
I'm talking about binary, ones and zeros. So let me take this again. Black and
bad.
white, yes or
Yes,
no,
black
right and wrong, 1 and 0, right? The way our minds work is we like to have one or the other.
Yeah.
It's weird, but if you look at historical backgrounds and, like, just the way that we word things, and that's why it's funny like you say that, but yeah, it's a
Mm-hmm.
metaphor that we use for a lot of things. Hey man, it's not just black and white, there's more to this,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
that's how our brains work. We're like
Yeah.
one or the other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why it's hard for there to be a third party, in my opinion, because that's just, we have left and right hemispheres.
Yeah.
We have northern and southern. We got southern, north and south poles.
Yeah.
Right? You notice it's always one or the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what?
So,
and I think I think that's a little bit of the issue with the political situation, because I think what people are doing is they're installing their ego into the system. Because what's happening is you're saying this is my side, and then everything that's not my side is the other side.
it's wrong.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
but it's just like, well, okay, you shouldn't. Not that you shouldn't have a side. You should have a side, but it needs to be on every issue, right? Because you can only have sides on things that you know about. You can't really have a side on something that you haven't. I guess you could assume that one side is going to agree with more of your stuff more. But it's just like like then we have nonpartisan stuff. Like most stuff is nonpartisan. Anyway, I
It's
think
also about holding your side accountable too, though.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Take it for example like this, Kenyo. I
Mm-hmm.
might agree with you if we're at the bar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about something, right? And then a guy pipes up because we're talking too loud because we've been drinking. And this is just a social example, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
something that a lot of us have probably experienced. Dude, we're talking a little too loud about what we believe, and a guy pipes in, "Oh, well, you're wrong, right?"
Yeah.
And then let's say you stand up or my friend stands up, and you're like, "You know what? F you, dog. Like, we're gonna go at it right now," and you knock him out, right? For that,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Well, I might have agreed with your opinion on that, but I didn't agree with what you did, right? And I'm gonna
Yeah.
have your back in public,
Yeah.
but as soon as we get back in the car, I might whip your ass. I'm like, dude, what were you thinking? You just made us look stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, and I get that it's a totally different situation from politics and social norms, but that's what I'm getting at. Is like, yeah, we can support the people that on the side we're on, but
Mm-hmm.
you still got to hold your buddies accountable. Like, hey, like, look, I get where you're going with this, but you totally did that the wrong way, brother. Like, we need to
Yeah.
figure out another way. And it's the same way that we just held Trump accountable with our words here, saying, hey, his strategy's right,
Mm-hmm.
but the way he does it, the way he says some things, okay, we can all agree that he messes up in those regards sometimes, right? So it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
hold the people accountable, have your side, but don't be so caught up into your ego, like you
Mm-hmm.
just said, that you can't hold your friends and your family and your political peers
Yeah.
accountable for what they're doing.
Facts. Facts, Amundo. Facts. It's fun. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we did another one. Another left, right podcast. Not left, right. Or it could be. I could do left, right. Left, right. Left, right. A left, right. I almost feel like we got to throw video games somewhere in here. The real champion right here, guys. Gold medalist. Are we gonna catch you in the Olympics next year for jiu-jitsu? Have you ever thought about that?
I don't believe that's in the Olympics, sir.
It's not? Yes, it is. Maybe not Brazilian.
I don't think
Oh, you know what? No, I'm thinking judo. My
boxing
bad.
is, I think.
And judo is, but I don't think. Yeah, I think you're right.
Let's see. Let's
Let
see.
me check.
BJJ.
No, it's not.
Olympics. Yeah, I was like, I don't think so. No,
Not bad.
well, let's be real, guys. This is kind of a joke.
It's
I
not
won,
a joke.
but I'm a white belt.
It
No,
doesn't
no, no.
matter. You
well,
won though.
me showing it off. No,
Yeah.
me showing it off. Like, yo, what's up?
Hey,
G?
gold is gold. Is it gold? It's gold.
Oh, it's gold plated, baby. You want to feel
Yeah.
it? You want to feel how heavy that is? I can barely do curls with it.
Hey, winning is winning. Come on, I haven't got.
That's just because I'm weak.
I've never won anything. Actually,
That's
no.
not true. You won my heart the day we met.
No, but in kindergarten.
No,
for
I've been having
kindergarten,
some
I won an
games lately.
art contest.
I'm sure you've gotten a bike rodeo trophy before too, haven't you?
No, but I was in my college literary journal. I had a poem published in it. That was kind of a victory.
Yeah,
was
there was
selected.
this one dude in school that liked this girl, and I got her. I won.
Yeah, every time you get a girl, you're winning because has to be
I lost her,
lots of people.
but I won her for a moment.
That
Oh, and by the
still
way,
counts.
was it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday night I was walking my dog,
Mhm.
and I saw this beautiful woman. Man, she lives in my apartment complex. I've seen her before. I saw her when she moved in, like 4 or 5 months ago. She lives with her son and her mom,
Mhm.
and she was walking around in her pajamas outside looking for her apartment key because her mom, she's an older lady, her mom lost it.
Mm.
And man, from that day I was like, man, this lady's cute. Like, I like her. She's a little older. She's about 10 years older than me, I think.
Okay.
She's 40 and I'm 30.
Does she have any kids?
But she has one son, yeah. And I saw her on Thursday, and she always waves at me anytime she sees me because I helped try to look for her key, and I was kind to her, I'll admit. But she sees me and she'll go, hi, waving at me across the complex. And I'm like, hey,
Hey, there you
it's
go.
kind of funny. But I decided to go talk to her on Thursday. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Like, and anyway, helped her carry her stuff in. got her phone number, and we're scheduling sushi and drinks,
Are
right?
you serious?
But yeah, absolutely. And
I didn't know. I just didn't. It didn't seem like that's what you were where you were going.
that's where I was going. And she's a beautiful Asian woman, man. And I'll tell you what, I love my Latinas and I love my Asians. And I just couldn't help it. But what the point is that I've known her for 6 months, right? And I just got her name. It's Tiffany. And it's like, what took so long? And I'll admit, it's the lack of confidence. And while I'm saying, yes, this is kind of a joke that I'm wearing this gold medal because I'm a white belt. I've only been doing jujitsu for a little over a year. It's clearly like I'm just joking around. Like this medal, when I'm there, it means a lot. But this is going to go in a drawer in a week or two, and I probably won't bring it out for a long time, But what jujitsu's done for me, bro, is it's made me so much more confident to be unapologetically myself. And it's like, okay, I'm going to go and get this woman's number. And she's like, can I ask how old you are? I'm like 30. She's like, oh, too young for me. I said, too young to be good friends and get sushi? And she's like, no. I said, okay, well, give me your number then. And now she's texting me, sorry, I got off work late, blah, blah, blah. Can't wait to get drinks and sushi with you. I'm like, all right, cool.
There you go. Instant
I just
father.
think what I was getting at.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at is
that's a hack.
We need to be unapologetically ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's why I agreed to do this podcast. It's because I want to be unapologetically myself on a higher scale where people, let me take this off because it's serious, where people can actually say,
those are serious.
No, he's wrong. No, he's right. No, he's an idiot. No, I disagree. Yeah. And you know what? I don't really care if people that I know or people that I used to know see what I'm out here doing.
Yeah.
Because if you're judging, it's because you lack the confidence to go out and do something like this.
Yeah.
You lack the confidence to say your opinion unapologetically and be yourself. The other day, this lady, I'm leaving HEB, right? I'm coming out in HEB for everyone around the world. That's a grocery store here in Texas, mostly. And
number one grocery store in the nation.
Oh, number one store maybe, like behind a few others. But so
true.
I'm leaving HEB and I'm coming out. Everybody knows that when you're going through a grocery store aisle or a lot of parking lots, they have arrows saying which way you're supposed to go. I'm about to back out and I see a car coming down the aisle. What do you normally do? You're like, oh, I'm going to let this car pass because they had the right of way. But then I notice they're driving the wrong direction. And they still got about 8 spots down the way, right? So I'm not just pulling out in front of them and being a jerk. I'm like, no, you're going the wrong way. You're going to wait for me.
Yeah.
And I pull out and I turn, face them.
Yeah.
And now we're facing each other in the aisle. And I was like, well, shit, you're going the wrong way. I don't know what you're going to do, but I'm going this way.
I do that with people too, because they're messing it up. They don't. That's one of the biggest rules of the Texas parking lots that I've learned. You got. I don't know. Maybe I've been here so long, so I don't really know what it looks like in other places. Actually, anyway.
Well, let me check me out. So she moves around, right? And she knows she's in the wrong, right? And she doesn't even want to look at me. She doesn't want to look. Normally, I would have sat there and waited and let this person do their thing, go the wrong direction, and not say anything. And I get it; it's super petty. It's just a direction, right? Yeah. I could have waited.
I'm an aggressive
but you know what? We got to start holding people accountable for the little things, man. You think, or she thinks that she's more important than everybody else in this parking lot, and she's going to go the wrong way because she wants to. She's in a rush. Whatever she's doing is more important than everyone else. So you know what I did? I pulled out, I rolled down my window, and I said, hey, you're supposed to be going that way. And she just goes like this, shoos me off like that, all rude. And I'm like, I just drive off, right? I'm not going to cuss at her. If it was my mom or whatever, I would go to arms. I'd go to fists for someone even if she's in the wrong. Yeah. Just like I'm talking about later. I'd be like, Mom, you're in the wrong, but I'll still beat someone's ass for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, but basically what I'm getting at is we have to hold these people accountable, everyone accountable, our friends, ourselves, and random people that we see, because it's like, if not, who is? And we're just going to let this crap run rampant where we just allow people to do whatever they want. No. If
Now,
there's a rule, a common societal rule, you're gonna follow it.
I think I do that. Yeah, I do that that's the interesting thing about driving, because it's so interesting, the interactions. Because I'm pretty I'm weird, because I'm a little bit passive aggressive when I'm a driver, but I'm also aggressive too, because I do a lot of driving. I did Uber for years and all kinds of stuff. So I'm on the road all the time, and people do drive really weird. Now I don't even really think about other drivers, because what I realize is everybody's hesitating. And that's even in life. I kind of feel like that too. But with driving, everybody's always hesitating. So I just go first, even if I get to the stoplight last, because I'm just like, the problem is you want to wait to see what I'm doing. I want to wait to. No, I don't have time for that. I'll make it easy. I'll go first, and then you know what you want to do. You can go ahead and go second. Now you don't have to think. You don't have to waste that extra second that people want to wait everything. No, I'll just go first. Don't glance. You glanced over here. Don't worry, I'm already going. Now we're both going faster, I feel like.
Well, that's true. It's but just, I would hope that means that if somebody's already making that turn, that you're not going to be like, no, me first, move.
Because it's obvious, though. People act like we can't see. Like, if someone's already going, I'm going to see you going. But what I notice is 90% of the time, people are waiting to see what the other person's going to do. But I think that's more of also like a small town thing, because in LA, like LA, New York, where the driving is just on another level. It's just like, you really can't be playing around. You're just not on the road. I think that's why a lot of people don't drive in New York at all. And then even people who drive in LA, it's like, you really got to be on your game, because there's like 8 lanes on every highway. Everyone's going super fast. But at the same time, what I notice is in cities like that, people drive better. Like, I think people drive better in LA because they're interacting so often that I don't know. I just think that they have, like, they're not as awkward with the driving in LA. They kind of get, like, the systems. Merging, they don't even do, like, all the weird merging stuff the same way that they do out here as much. Like, people aren't. I think in LA they just let you merge, because that's not the issue. We were just all in traffic for 2 hours. It doesn't matter who's merging right here on this little thing.
That 2 seconds isn't going to really matter.
It's like, there's the people obviously who go all the way to the front. Anyway, now I'm ranting for sure, but yes, I think
you were ranting, but what I was trying to tell you, Kenyo, is it's about courtesy.
It's not you were really saying about, holding
this
people.
Is a lot of traffic.
Yeah, and holding people accountable. That's what I'm saying. That's how I kind of do it now. I'm just like, you know what? Everyone get on my level. Let's move quick. All this weirdness. we don't have time for any of this, because I do the same thing when someone's driving the other way down. Because I've done that maybe once or twice, but now I'm pretty.
Well, I've done it by accident before.
Yeah.
I'm like,
my
bad.
On accident.
It was an accident.
Yeah, exactly. You got to do the
my
wave.
bad. And I'll wave and be like, sorry.
Yeah.
It's not like.
No, my fiance, she's always wondering why I'm waving
wrong,
at everyone. You gotta toss the driver wave. Everyone knows the driver wave. They're like, oh.
Yep, my bad. Oh. Put your head down a little bit if you're wrong. My bad.
And if they let you in,
or if somebody did something wrong, and then it's like, thank you.
Like, give them hey.
My guy. Yep.
They can't hear you, so you just.
And if they did something wrong.
But people do get a little bit too bold sometimes. They're just like, "Can I get it? No, you can't get. You're not. You're not over here. You're in the wrong place." But I let them in anyway, because it's just like, if you're gonna be that awkward. Can I tell you another story? Okay, go ahead.
Because you're just gonna rant. I'm just kidding. Sorry, I'm an asshole.
No, it's
Sorry,
true.
I'm a jerk. But I have a friend, and I'm not really friends with him anymore. I was friends with him since high school, but as of 2 weekends ago, I'm really not a fan anymore because. And I'm gonna be and I preface that because it's like, what? You've been friends with somebody for so long and you're just gonna cut them off?
Yeah, it's funny that it just happened, right? Too.
Yeah, well, I want to share it because it's about holding people accountable.
Yeah.
Because this guy, when every time he goes out, he drinks way too much.
I hate it.
And he talks a lot of crap to people, causes a lot of problems. And I always had his back, no matter what. It's the same thing where it's like, we leave, we get back in the car. I'm like, bro, you're an idiot. I'm going to talk to you tomorrow about this, because you just almost got me in a fight.
Yeah.
And I had to back you up. And if I wasn't there, there would have been a fight. And the fact that I got up and helped you cause the situation to minimize, because I'm not the type to be like, to start a fight and make a big deal out of it. I'm usually like the guy that's like, hold on, let's figure this out. But if you really want to go at it, we can. But hold on, let's chill. You know what I mean? But so that's the preface. All right. We were at the normal bars we go to. My friend's like, hey, man, my cousin and his friends over here, we're not having a good relationship. He did this stuff to the family. He's right down the street, and he sent me his location, and he wants me to pull up. I need you to come with me just in case. I said, you know what? This doesn't sound right, but I'll go just because I'm a friend, and I'll make sure to have your back. Because, like, you shouldn't be fighting with your family at a bar, but whatever, dude. Let's go. He was kind of drunk, and I was like, if I don't go, he might make a bad decision. So I wanted to hold my friend accountable as well as protect him. So I went, okay? Turns out he goes and he gives his cousin a hug. There's no problems at all, right? And I'm like, you made me come here for nothing? You just lied to me to make me come and protect you? Like, man, this is crap. Like, I was already kind of upset, right? Yeah. But then he starts getting more drunk. I was like, I might as well go in and have a beer. So I ordered a beer. He's getting drunk. I'm not. I'm chilling. And for whatever reason, I can't really remember why, because I went kind of like, but blacked out a little bit as far as anger goes. He comes up to me and he puts his hand on my cheek and goes like this 6 or 7 times. Okay. I got into it with him, dude, and I pushed him against the bar. I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like, you brought me here to have your back, and then now you're putting your hands on my face for no reason? Like, and it was literally no reason. Like, we weren't even arguing or anything. I don't remember ever even getting upset prior to that or anything. It was just like, dude just started slapping my face.
He's just a jerk.
And exactly. And you know what? I'll have your back when you do that to other people. And like I told you, Kenya, but when we leave, I'm gonna be like, bro, you should not have done that. Like, I'm not going to keep backing you up for shit like this, But when you do it to me, the one who has your back, there's a big problem. I'm like, okay, you brought me here to have your back, and now you're disrespecting me in front of people, not just random people, but people we know. You don't do that. So got into it anyway. So we get kicked out because I pushed him against the bar, and I was upset. And we get kicked out of the bar.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I'm about to get in my car and leave, and he's still talking shit and talking mess. And the bar owner and the security comes out, and they're like trying to stop him from coming up to me because they knew what was about to happen. To him. And I'm like, I was like, get your ass inside. I was saying all the stuff, man. I'm getting in my car, right? And I finally get in my car after he apologizes. I'm like, all right, you apologize? All right, now get the hell out of my way and let me leave.
Yeah.
And I get in my car and I start driving off. And guess what? Just like you were saying, everybody changes when you're in a vehicle, right? Everybody changes for some reason when you're in a car. As soon as I start driving off, instead of being apologetic, it's like, yeah, you better leave. Something like that. Yeah, that's right. And so I stopped my car. I got out and I said, what? Like, you're still talking? I thought we were done. Like, if you really want to go, step into my ring here. And I pointed to the parking lot asphalt. I'm like, come on. Like, you really want to keep talking? Let's figure this out right now. And then he turns around and waddles his ass back into the bar, right? So, and he's still, my boy, like, I love him, but I can't go drink. I can't go party. I can't hang out with you anymore. That's just the way that it is. I got to hold my people accountable.
Yeah.
And we ain't cool on that level anymore, dog.
Yeah,
like, sorry.
You got to cut him off. Or just roast him nonstop. Because that's the kind of thing I roast you for. And the first time someone does anything like that, because I had my one friend, well, he didn't do anything bad to me, though, but he used to, when we were first starting to drink way back in the day, I don't really drink like that too much anymore, but, well, not outside anyway, but he had gotten like really, really drunk, and I just roasted him for that for the rest of his life. I think that's one way to really hold people accountable and to like make them realize that they're lame. Just make fun of them all the time. That's why I think sometimes, like me, I wish more people. It's easy to be in Texas and gain weight sometimes because the people just it goes over their head. It's kind of normal. In California, I would have been roasted to pieces. Couldn't even step outside, and I'd probably be more motivated. Be like, let me run for 30 minutes before I go to sleep, just because I can't even have fun with the friends I'm hanging out with or whatever, or with my, like, I don't feel good about approaching these girls. But also, now I'm married, so my motivation for being fit
yeah.
is greatly reduced. But anyway, I'm getting back into it because I hacked my brain. Even on this channel, I started my
I saw.
yeah.
I wanted to bring that up real quick.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you I've watched your 30 days of exercise in your
Didn't do it
backyard
the last
or
5
whatever. You're
days.
jogging in
Yeah.
place.
But I'm
Well,
getting back into it.
you need to.
Yeah.
You need to. You're being lazy, and you need to step up your game and hold yourself accountable, my friend.
Thank you. That's what's good. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, I really respected seeing that.
Yeah.
Because you put your image out there on the line.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, look, I know I'm not fit. I want to be fit. I should be fit. And I'm going to do this out in public.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I love that, bro. I really respect that. And I hope and I pray. And I'm going to tell you, I want you to keep doing that. Because that inspired me. And I don't know if you saw, but you maybe not. That night when I saw that with your last one, I went out for a jog at like 9:30 at night because I wasn't feeling like sleeping.
Yeah.
And it made me feel great because I don't really hit the pavement.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, I've started actually jogging at night and stuff like that when I'm not even after my workouts, bro. And a lot of it's because jiu-jitsu, my master, one time, he said in class, he's like, and I know a lot of y'all aren't hitting the pavement. So I was like, all right, then. I'm going to start hitting the pavement, dog. Yeah. But you've also motivated me, believe it or not, through those videos. And anybody who's seen those, I guarantee, if they're not a hater, they're going to be inspired by what you're doing there. So I just want to let you know that, bro. Like, keep that up.
Coming back tonight. Please. So you just inspired me back. That's how the inspiration echoes. But no, I'm gonna get back on it. Hold your friends
accountable in a positive way.
Yeah,
right there.
And the reason I stopped, it was like actually like a whole thing I'm not even gonna get into. It was like a little emergency, so I was like stagnant. I had to go to San Antonio for anyway. But today it's getting back on it. Yeah, you know, loving media, loving life. It's a great podcast. I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here. Oh, plugs.
Hold on, yeah.
Go ahead.
What are your plugs? Well, I actually had one more thing that's really important. I don't know how you missed it, and it kind of like upset me.
Which
but
one?
There's a controversial thing going on.
Oh, Bad Bunny?
No. Okay. So, Digimon just released a new game, and it's like Time Strangers or something. And Pokemon's releasing their new game.
Whoa.
As well.
I actually think we do need a little game segment since it's left, right.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to say here. But can I get it out? Can I spit? Can I cook for a second?
Yeah, cook.
No, I'm just kidding.
Stew.
The Digimon game looks 10 times better than the Pokemon game. Pokemon has dropped their ball. I loved Pokemon Yellow, Blue, Red, Silver, Gold, all the way to Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald even. But these games, Black and White, X and Y, and this new one is like XYZ or whatever it is. Lame, bro. Lame. This new Digimon game looks amazing, and I'm literally going to buy it and install it after this podcast because it is awesome. They've done what Pokemon should be doing, and I respect it. And I'm going to say I used to love and respect and support Pokemon. They're going down the drain. They need to step up their game or they're going to lose all of their fans.
Whoop. You heard it here. Yeah, and Pokemon they're just, I think they're so big. I didn't watch too much Digimon, but
Digimon is like the serious version of Pokemon, and the monsters look way cooler. The story is way better.
Yeah.
I mean, Digimon's better than Pokemon, dude. I'm gonna say it, and I'm a huge Pokemon fan.
The thing is, when Digimon, I think maybe because I'm just a little bit older than you, because by the time Digimon came on, I was already moving away from that concept in general. I think that's why I never really caught it, because I didn't watch it at that time. I watched a little bit of it. I watched like the first few episodes, but it's like it didn't grab my, because Pokemon was like in my prime where it's just like, yo, I was getting off.
Of course.
At right when I got home basically from school, bus would drop me off.
Whoa.
By the time I get in my door, Pokemon's firing up. You know what I mean? And then Digimon, I think that was like that was almost maybe the beginning of high school or something like that, or I don't know, or maybe it's just because I was moving at that time. Something happened and I didn't get to watch it as much. But
Pokemon is still, what do you call that? Still depending on nostalgia. And you can't continue to depend on nostalgia 10 years later when you're not putting out good products anymore.
Yeah.
After a while, your fan base is going to be like, dude, like, yeah, we loved your old stuff, but your new stuff sucks.
Yeah.
And that's why Digimon taking time off and then coming out and dropping this banger of a video game that everybody seems to love when they're playing it, that's how you got to be.
Genius.
Disappear. And just as humans, disappear for a few years and come back leveled up.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. Pokemon's like, I'm here, but they're regressing. No, get in the lab, come back a few years later, and be that leveled up version of yourself. That's what Digimon is. Pokemon is promoting being, what do you call that? Complacent with yourself. And if you're still a Pokemon fan, go ahead and take a look in the mirror. If you're buying the new Pokemon, take a look in the mirror. Where's your life been the last 5 years? You moving forward or are you complacent? Get on that Digimon game, baby.
That's funny. Alrighty, well, I'm going to be heading to San Antonio pretty soon here, so do some plugs. Cool. I added the Left Right podcast to Spotify, so for those of you who listen to Spotify, I'm going to get it on Apple.
Get it on Amazon.
It's the fastest way is YouTube, or actually there's no fastest way, but is YouTube. Yeah, Amazon. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Amazon Music. I think Amazon will do it automatically. I use Amazon. I'll check.
They're promoting a lot of podcasts now on the Amazon app. Like because that's what I use now.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, we have a podcast area too, or whatever it says every time I open it up. So they're really promoting podcasts now on Amazon.
I think it automatically goes to Amazon. I'm gonna check right now if it's already on there.
I'm checking too. Let me see. Amazon Music.
Because I know a lot of these guys, they just look at the RSS feeds and then they take them. But Apple, you have to do it specifically. But let me see, left. Probably have to write like. Let me see.
Podcasts.
Oh,
left.
No, it's not on there.
It's not.
No, I gotta add it on there. All right, that's something new. So guys, check on Amazon, check on Spotify, check on Apple, especially if you're watching this in like 2 weeks. It'll probably all be up on there. Another banger, another week. We got another week ahead of us. That's gonna be a big one. So check back in next week, guys. We'll digest the best of the stories. Yeah. Plugs, Eric. Check out Eric at T Steel.
Plugs. Yes, I just want to thank God for everything.
Woo!
For waking me up this morning.
Thank you, Jesus.
That's the biggest plug in this world, is staying true to your faith, no matter what it is. I'm not judging you if you don't believe in God and Jesus Christ, but I'm going to tell you that's my plug for the day. Keep your faith. And you're going to be all right. That's my plug. It doesn't matter. I don't really want the attention. I just love being on here with a buddy and speaking my mind. Thank you, Kenyo, for the platform and for reaching out. But, yeah, I just want to thank God for everything. And that's really it.
Yep, and thank you guys all for the comments. Let me just see if there was a comment that I missed reading. There was someone who just said something that was funny. I didn't know what they were talking about. On the Freedom's Echo, why we left Britain in the current state. Someone said, oh no, not taxes. Oh, because we're saying we left the Britain. Not taxes. Paying a portion of your wealth to help improve public services and infrastructure is taking away my freedom. Yeah, I don't think that's what we're saying. We're just saying that, we want to know why we're being taxed. That's what the whole Boston Tea thing. But we love the comments no matter what. It's always fun to read cool comments.
Yeah.
And this other dude on your Epic skateboarding story, he put curb, K-E-R-B. He's saying we're supposed to say K-E-R-B because curb means to cut short or delay. So it's not the right word. So I guess curbs, the street curbs are spelled K-E RB, is that true? I don't think that's true. I think
I
that
mean, is he from the UK?
maybe he is. I don't. It's okay. That is Okay, so yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe in the UK it's curved, but it says CURB, a stone or concrete edging. That's North American English. Let's see, curved
Yeah,
UK.
he probably wakes up and says, breakfast is ready, isn't it?" He says, "Did you make my
Oh,
beans, Mom?"
Yeah, he's British. That's crazy. I didn't even know British people did that like that. That's hilarious.
Hell yeah.
And cool.
And the fact that we have people watching from the other side of the world,
Yeah,
thank you.
that's cool. I just
Keep the
Googled
comments up. We want this isn't just for American politics. This is for just life, man. So anybody who has an opinion, I love seeing that. I love the fact that people have the confidence to comment.
Yeah.
And say what you want.
I love a
even if it's that we're idiots. I love it.
Yes, more comments. Keep them coming. And I like going live here on YouTube. I think I'm going to try to keep that up. Or we said we're going to do both. We'll do YouTube and Twitch next time.
Definitely right. YouTube, though.
Yeah, YouTube is pretty chill. All right, guys. Catch you next week. I'm loving the Left Right podcast. This is episode number freaking 7. And I think we've covered some great stuff already. So let's keep it going.
We have.
See you guys
All right, brother. God bless y'all.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining.